Very good. I'm not sure that was an invitation to begin, but I'll assume it was. Okay. I was just looking at the gallery view and a lot of familiar faces, a lot of friends. Thank you for joining us tonight. I noticed that the Monday Night Football is on, so if your video goes blank, I'll understand why. I wanted to cover a few issues, but I really would like to go to your questions more than a lengthy expose of what's going on in Washington. The short sentence for Washington is, it is a serious disaster for our nation. Trump, every time he opens his mouth, bad things happen, with the exception of today and the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. That's good news, and hopefully that will hold, and a solution to that terrible problem and tragedy with the loss of so many lives in Israel initially, and then maybe 10 or 15 times more in Gaza. We've got to end it, and hopefully we're on a path to do that. With regard to that issue, I just want to make it clear that from the very, very outset, I have protested the use of American bombs and heavy munitions in Gaza. I've done that in many ways, including legislation and speaking multiple times on the issue. So we'll see. Hopefully that will be moving towards a fair resolution. Much to be done still. The other issues that are out there really are caused by Trump and the Republicans. We are not back in session. Mike Johnson has refused to bring us back to session. That caused me to actually ask one of my teenage grandchildren to Google up how it was that the Nazis so easily took over Germany. What did Hitler do? Well, what he did was to disband the German parliament, and there was nobody to push back. And I'm going, let's see, we're into the 3 week with no Congress. Could we be on the same path? Well, if we take a look at what Trump is doing, much of what he is doing is right out of the Nazi playbook. It's what Hitler did, how he gained power, how he then mastered the power, how he then frightened everybody into submission. And if they weren't willing to submit, they simply disappeared. So we're seeing this throughout our nation. Obviously, the immigrant issue is on all of our minds, as it should be. I'm pleased to hear that some of the right-wing podcasters, the ones that are best known, are saying this is wrong, and it surely is wrong. And they were actually saying, you know, we really need to find a path to citizenship for these people. Yes, good thinking. The Democrats in the House of Representatives have been pushing this legislation for a decade. In the first, when Obama was in power, we pushed it. We did not control the Congress or the Senate. It went nowhere. When Trump was in power, we were in power, at least in the House. We pushed it, and the Republicans wouldn't give us the 60 votes needed. Later, the Republicans actually put together a reasonable solution to this. I didn't go far enough, but at least it would have been a good start. That died about, a year and 5 months ago, when Trump decided that what he really needed was the immigration issue to win the election. And he simply told the Republicans in the House of Representatives, kill it. Don't take it up. Do not pass immigration legislation. Well, we have to. We have to, for all the reasons that are out there. I'll go into them if you want to do a question on it. There are many, many issues that are of great concern. Of great immediate concern is the Affordable Care Act and the insurance policies that are available through the various state programs. In California, Covered California has 1.9 million policyholders. Those policies are subsidized by the federal government. We call it an enhanced tax credit. It's a subsidy, and it brings down the cost of something that's affordable. We did a press conference in Fairfield with the executive director of Covered California. And the fact of the matter is, premiums will double for nearly all policyholders, and some will be even more, maybe 2 or 3 times more expensive than they are today. Unaffordable. So across the nation, 22, 24 million people are on these policies. In California, just short of 2 million. In our district, somewhere about 150, 160. Now, the problem is we can't wait. The Republicans say pass the short term and then we'll negotiate. And I'm going, really? We pass the short term, it's 7 weeks. Week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, nothing will happen. Week 7, we're right back to where we started today. And the Republicans will say, let's kick the can down the road again. Now, why are we in this situation? It's even worse next year in 2026 when the Medi-Cal in California, the Medicaid reductions take place, and they are horrendous. It's probably $900 billion over a decade. Say $100 billion will be cut out of the Medicaid program next year, and we're talking about a wholesale trashing of that program. So for seniors that are in nursing home, for the unemployed or the uninsurable, for those that are disabled, and for families who are in the lower income levels, it will be a disaster next year, and it'll be a disaster in the next couple of days. The insurance policies are now priced in 2 ways. One is with the subsidy and the other without the subsidy. We have about another week or so to put the subsidies in place so that the current cost of that insurance will be similar to what it is today. If we don't, then the insurance companies, Covered California and others, will go out with the cost for the policies in the coming year. And people will have to make a decision November 1st through January 30th. And they're going to face huge increases if we do not act now. And so it's here and now. The information is going out. The decisions will be made in the next few weeks, and people will run away from the insurance, be uninsured, and then a very serious effect on our healthcare system in so many different ways. So that's really where we are today. There are many other things we need to fight for, and we will. The food programs, I did a press conference with the food bank. They're looking at a significant burden to the food bank because the SNAP program is significantly diminished, and also the school breakfast and lunch programs are similarly diminished because of the big ugly bill. We can go on and on. If you're interested in green technology, you can just say goodbye. Trump is terminating the green technology. This was done in part in the big ugly bill, and also Trump's own individual actions. So that's where we are. I hope everything's okay with you and that we're communicating well here. I'll take your questions for the next whatever time Julia will give us.
Okay, so if you guys have any questions, put them in the chat, but I have a couple to start us off. So we have Prop 50 in California coming up, which dramatically changes our district, puts us from a plus 40 to about a plus 10. So with that, quite frankly, part of this is keeping these House seats. So do you plan on running for re-election in 2026?
I am running for re-election in 2026. I'm running for re-election in 2028. We'll talk about 30 sometime in 28. Okay. But right now, absolutely. I love this work. I'm in a position where I have significant influence on both the Transportation Infrastructure Committee as well as, number 3 among the number 3 among the Democrats on the Armed Services Committee. So I'm in a position where I can move legislation. I can go into some of the things that are in the current NDAA, but the bottom line is absolutely I am running, and I'm just plain excited about the upcoming election. If Prop 50 passes, then I will represent, assuming I win, which I intend to do, all of Solano County. So for a lot of Solano County, I'm coming home, and I hope you welcome me.
Awesome. So with going along with what we were talking about with the insurance companies, so health insurance companies, and we're talking about all of them now, not just the subsidized, not Medicaid. We're talking Kaiser, we're talking Aetna,
Sure.
et cetera. They are anticipating lower revenue due to the Medicaid cuts. And so with that, services are being cut, and that is against federal regulations. Basically, they can't cut services due to financial need, only due to health need. So what are you doing to ensure that these companies are providing services as required?
I'll talk about what I'm doing, and then I'll talk about what all of you can do. First of all, the emergency services are required by federal law. Other services vary depending upon specifically what it is. But the fact of the matter is, the healthcare industry, the doctors, the hospitals, the clinics, the federally qualified clinics are all going to reduce availability. They'll continue to operate. We do know that some of the clinics are going to close. We do know that rural hospitals, we're not sure about California, but certainly rural hospitals across America are already closing in anticipation of the future cuts, as well as some that are taking place in other parts of the nation. So we're looking at this as a reduction in available medical services. While the clinic may be open, it may be a week, a month, or more before you can actually get an appointment. So this is going to be an ongoing challenge. Clearly, the revenues for the provision of care at clinics and hospitals is going to be reduced. If the current health premium subsidy is terminated, and if the Medicaid cuts as laid out in the current law take place next year. Now, some of those are already in place, but most of them will be next year. Almost all of them will be taking place after the November election. The Republicans thought, oh, they'll be very, very smart. People won't notice the cuts. Well, I'm sorry. People already noticed the cuts, and we're anticipating more. And you can bet that the Democrats are going to be talking about the Medicaid cuts every day into the 2026 and up through the election next year. So, yeah, services are going to be reduced. There's no doubt about it. Some are required by law, emergency services specifically. Others, it's going to be a reduction of services. They'll be there, but you won't be able to get them as readily as you can today. The federally qualified clinics, which are subsidized through the Affordable Care Act, will see a diminution in available support from the federal government. It's a question of whether they will be able to survive or not. But we do know that they're going to be heavily stressed.
Yeah. I mean, just from personal experience, basically my kids are in both speech and OT, and Kaiser is reducing us down from once a week down to twice a month. And
Yep.
that is so common among every single family that I'm dealing with right now. Okay. So you guys had the border bill agreement done. Trump kills it because Biden's in office and he wants the issue. Is there any way to bring that bill back and vote on it now?
I'm sorry, I missed the issue. Bring what back?
The border bill that you guys had over a year ago.
Oh, the immigration bill.
Yeah.
It's been reintroduced by the Democrats. The Republicans were no and hell no. We'll see what happens. This is a wake-up call for everybody in America, and certainly for elected officials in Washington. We'll see what happens. The bill that passed the Senate a year ago was a skeleton bill. I would like to see the Democratic House version move forward. It covers most everything, from farm workers to longtime residents, undocumented residents, children, the DACA people. And so it's the House Democratic version is really a full-on effort to deal with the immigration issue. even with it, we're not going to be able to deal with all of it. But the House version, House Democratic version, would be much better. Would I settle for the Senate version? It depends how the votes work out and where the Republicans are. We may see next year in the run-up to the election that there may be some interest on the part of Republicans to take up the House bill. We will certainly do a discharge petition, as we have in the past. And by the way, there is a discharge petition short one vote on the House floor now, and that vote is Grajava, the new representative from Arizona, who has not been sworn in because the House has not returned to session. When she gets sworn in, we'll have 218, unless some Republican bails out. I think we have 4 right now. And so that would force a vote on the House floor to release the files. And if we have 218 signing the petition, that should pass. We'll see.
So in airports, there is a message that the Democrats are to blame for the government shutdown. Is there a reason why California is actually airing that message, or is
no, the shutdown is caused by the Trump and the Republican big ugly bill, which gutted the healthcare financing in America. One of those financing issues is the subsidies for the ACA insurance policies. That was caused by the Republicans. The big ugly bill is the problem. I can go back and start with that, but the fact of the matter is, you go back, not one Democrat voted for the big ugly bill in the House. Not 1 minute of negotiations took place. The Republicans rammed it through on reconciliation, which avoids the 60 vote in the Senate. And they got the vice president to provide the 51st vote. So the bottom line here is, it's their bill, it's their problem, they created it, and we are going to do the very best we can to provide health insurance and health care for Americans. We're not just going to stand aside and say, oh, well, what can we do? Well, what we can do is what we are doing. We're not providing the votes. Now, if the senators think that they can somehow persuade 4 senators to vote for it, well, go for it. I hope they don't succeed at that. And I hope the Republicans will sit down with us and say, okay, let's figure out what needs to be done here to get your votes. And we've laid it out very clearly. Minimum, restore the funding for the Affordable Care Act subsidies on the insurance.
Okay. So the Department of Education has had a hatchet taken to it. They're trying to put IDEA funding through HHS. Is there a backstop against this? How will we enforce these IEPs? How will we fund any of the special education services?
Well, the DOGE team, Musk and his team, went after USAID first, foreign assistance, and then Department of Education. And they basically gutted it, and they could not, under the law, kill it. It is not even on life support right now. The programs that you talked about and others have been, parceled out to other agencies to administer. Those agencies have also been seriously reduced in their staffing, as well as in their, particularly the oversight within those organizations. What Trump, Doge, and Musk did was to eliminate the oversight programs that have been critical to being the watchdog on every program, from the military to education and beyond, by eliminating the AG, firing the heads of those organizations, and in the ensuing weeks and months, basically firing up most everybody else. Those watchdog organizations are not there. We do have one remaining, the GAO, which basically is independent, maybe, reports directly to Congress, maybe independent. There is clearly an assault on the GAO. We'll see if that can withstand it. Now, keep in mind that all of this was flat out illegal. There is a legal, lawful way to reduce employment in the federal government. It's a reduction in force. It requires a specific program, specific identification of the ongoing work, how it would be continued. None of that was done. And so it's just a wholesale slaughter of the programs. So we continue to push back legally. We have within the Democratic caucus a team of very, very good members, good lawyer members who work with outside law firms who are not totally co-opted by Trump. But we fight the fight here. Will we win? Yes, we will win with Prop 50, and we will win in the upcoming elections because the general public is going, well, wait a minute. We didn't mean for the Department of Education and special ed and all of those programs to disappear or to not be able to be funded or to not be able to be managed. We didn't intend that. And we didn't intend this, that, and every other thing that has happened. So I think we're on the right political track here, and we're going to press forward.
Okay, is there any way for California to withhold tax money from the federal government at this point?
No. And for those of you that don't intend to pay your taxes in protest, don't do that. That is not a good thing to do. Write your protest letter. Since you go ahead, I want to come back and talk about what all of us can do. So I'll take another question.
We have two more questions and then we'll go to that one. Okay. So this is from Audra because I don't want to impersonate what she is saying. As a retired military officer and a retired police officer, I have great concerns about the use of military against civilians on U.S. soil, as well as the increasingly violent and unnecessary use of force I'm seeing against peaceful protesters. Do our elected officials have a plan for dealing with this? Do you see our continued peaceful protests having any effect on Republican legislators?
I'm going to go yes, yes, and yes. I think there are three questions there. First of all, the deployment of military, the National Guard has been militarized. It has been brought into the federal military system. So it's the same as deploying the 101st Division. That is clearly contrary to the Posse Comitatus law, which dates back to the late 1800s. The framers of our Constitution understood, and the first and second Congress of the United States understood what it meant to have troops on the streets. That was one of the big things about the Revolution. So they wrote the Posse Comitatus law 2 centuries ago. It basically says, unless under two circumstances, rebellion and insurrection, troops cannot be on the street. Now, Trump cares nothing about the law. He simply will do what he wants to do, and then it's up to somebody else to stop it. The courts being the first line of defense, and there are numerous lawsuits on this issue. And I suspect the courts will say there's no rebellion, there's no insurrection. The demonstrations at the ICE facilities don't amount to a insurrection or rebellion. Therefore, you can't have troops on the street. We'll see what happens. It's fundamental. Now, what can I do? I said a moment ago, I'm a senior member of the Armed Services Committee, and I will guarantee you that I and other members of that committee are going to raise holy hell about this when we get back, if in fact we do get back. I'll go back to what Hitler did to the German legislature. So here we go. We'll see, but we're going to push back every way we can. We're doing that remotely now and with letters and calling on the various leaders in the military and the Department of Defense to obey the law and to explain to us why they are not. So we will push back every way we can. The other piece of this is that for the military, the pay will not happen on the 15th unless the shutdown ends. Now, Trump is now trying to move $8 billion from one account to another account. It's questionable whether he can do that. So that may or may not come to pass. If it does, then for the active and reserve military, they will be paid. Civilians will not be paid. So that problem will persist, as it will for every other government employee. I think I got the three questions answered. If I didn't.
Just the last one was any effect on the Republican legislators at this point?
The answer is yes. We're beginning to see a softening in their position. Senator Thune has said, pass the continuing resolution and we will immediately negotiate. And we say, terrific. Let's negotiate, then we'll pass. So we're seeing some willingness on the part of the Republicans to negotiate the principal issue we have, which is the subsidies for the health insurance. Now, other members are also, Marjorie Taylor Greene is a good example. Interesting why she flipped over to support the Democrats on this issue. The reason is her two grown children and their families are going to lose their health insurance. And they phoned up Mama and Mama, what are you doing? What are you doing? We're going to lose our insurance. Get with the program. The same kind of pressure is going to be felt by other members of the Republican, because this is a down-home issue. Also, the statistics are coming out that the red states have the great majority of their citizens covered by these insurance policies. And so the real heat will be in the red states that have the largest number, and Texas being the single biggest. And so that's playing out now. That'll continue to play out in the days ahead as this shutdown continues. And the issue of the insurance subsidy is better known, and the effect of it not becoming law will be seen immediately in the next 15 to 20 days as those notices go out about the cost of insurance in the red states as well as in California.
So this is going to be kind of a little bit of an intro. So the Hatch Act is basically you can't do politicking on government business. They are violating it left and right and center. Quite frankly, there's a reason why it was introduced, and that's because the government pulpit is very, very powerful. And the thing that I am worried about is losing the PR game to people because they believe it, because they see all the announcements in the airport saying it's Democrats' fault, the signs on the government website saying it's Democrats' fault. How do we go against this?
Well, first we sue to enforce the Hatch Act, and that is done. Those lawsuits are filed, and they'll be heard hopefully in the next few days as the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So we'll see what comes of that. It is a clear, absolute violation, but it follows along on the Trump agenda. Total disregard for law. And basically said, I'm going to do what I want to do and stop me if you can. And of course, stopping him is not easy. On the political side, we don't have the votes in the House or the Senate yet. And the lawsuits take time, and they get appealed all the way up to the Supreme Court. So I'm going to go to that last question because I think we're probably running out of time. I could go for another hour if you want.
I know. I could too. But yeah, you were going to talk about what we can do.
Yeah. We have to push back. We have to push back in every way. Prop 50 is the first really important opportunity we have. And so we have to pass Prop 50. I know many of you are out walking, door knocking, and gathering the votes. We are now identifying the votes with the walking and telephone, and then it's a matter of getting people to vote. So that's task one. As we do that, we will put forth arguments about why it's important for the Democrats to put the emergency brake on Trump and his administration, and pick whatever issue you like when you talk to people. It may be the military, it may be, whatever, healthcare, food, whatever program is near and dear to you. When you talk to people, say, we've got to put the emergency brake on. Trump is out of control. He's going to wreck this country and wreck our democracy. We need an emergency brake, therefore vote yes. Also, the short version is stop Trump, vote yes. Two very short sentences. Stop Trump, vote yes. You can fill in whatever time you have in your communication. That's task one. And in doing that, you will also inform the electorate, at least in California, about one or more of the critical issues. Secondly, many of you are really, really good at standing on street corners with signs. I think we may have some bad weather tomorrow, but when the weather clears, go back to the street corner and take your sign. And I am suggesting that 30% of those signs target the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is getting a free ride here. People say there's nothing we can do. I disagree. The Supreme Court does not, the Supreme Court knows public opinion. And right now, the public opinion they know is the MAGA public opinion. There needs to be a pushback. The Supreme Court needs to be called out. So 30% of those signs figure out some neat saying about the Supreme Court. So please do that. Stay with that. And as I say, always peaceful, period. Do not engage in anything that could be violent or lead to violence. Learn to back up. Hands up, back up. Don't touch anybody, just back up. And please do that. Trump is looking for somebody pushing an agent, and he will use that as a rebellion or an insurrection. So don't give it to him. Get your signs, do your peaceful protesting. Chants and songs are good. Have at it. But be very, very aware. Do not engage in anything that could cause a protest. So don't do it. But do the signs, do the all of that. So that's Prop 50, and that's in the days ahead. That will probably continue for some time as we go past Prop 50 and we get on into the other issues that are out there. We just continue to need to push back. A good turnout in Prop 50 would be very, very important along that line. So those are things you can do. One more thing. After Prop 50, after you've talked to people, after you've said, stop Trump, vote yes, I want you to reach out to your friends, your in-laws, your relatives in the red states, and ask them to engage, to push back. There'll be plenty of issues that will affect them that they will be sensitive to. Perhaps it'll be the insurance issue. But ask them to contact their congressman and their senator. The heat has to be on in the red states. There's nothing that makes a preacher feel better than to preach to the choir. You got to preach to the sinners. So reach out to your friends and relatives in the red states and ask them to contact their senator and members of Congress. Those are things that we can do, with Prop 50 being the first thing on the agenda. Okay, if there's something else that needs to be said.
There's just one last question I kind of wanted to ask. Project 2029. Do we have one?
The answer, it's being put together. For the members of Congress and the Senate, yes, we are putting together our Project 2029, and basically it's the legislation that we must promote and pass. We'll be doing that in 28 and 27, 20, excuse me, 26, 27, 28, and 29. And those pieces of legislation are the bricks that will be building that project. The actual book is being put together by a couple of Democratic leadership groups, and that'll be helpful. The actual enunciation of that will be by the wannabe presidents, the Democrats that are running for office. As they put together their campaigns, they will begin to articulate. My task and my colleagues' task is to give them the bread and butter that they could use. That'll be the specific issues that we'll be promoting. Some of that will be pushing back on Trump and the hangover from Trump when he's gone. If he's gone, I want you to be very, very aware that Project 2025 is also about the next presidential election. We came very close in 2020 for the insurrection, the January 6th, to put in play a deadlock in the Electoral College, in which there was no resolution in the Electoral College. That then creates an opportunity, actually necessity, for the House of Representatives to take up the presidential election, and we vote, each state having one vote. California and our 40 million citizens, one vote. Wyoming and its 800,000 citizens, actually 700,000 citizens, one vote. So, did that frighten you? The Republicans are setting the stage now for that to happen. And the control of Congress is precisely the path that they must proceed on if they intend to successfully move the next election out of the hands of the voters and into the hands of 26 states, each one with one vote. So we got work to do.
Yep.
Stop Trump, vote yes, and then we fight fiercely for the next election. Okay?
Thank you, Congressman Garamendi, for coming
Thank
out.
you, and thank you, all of you, for what you are doing and what you have done and will done. I look forward to working with you. Oh, if Prop 50 passes, I will have more than just a sliver of Vacaville. I'll have all of Solano County, and I'm really excited about it. Thank you so very much. Look forward to seeing you all in person when we're out and about. Tomorrow morning, I'm up at 3 o'clock to get on an airplane back to Washington. So thank you all very much. Bye now.
Bye. Okay, everybody, let's go ahead and continue on with our agenda. So, where's the agenda? There it is. Okay. So that took a little bit longer, but I thought that was really interesting. So I'm really happy we got to hear all of that. So we need to approve the agenda, or sorry, approve the minutes from last month. So I will briefly share them on the screen, and then we will go ahead and launch the poll. Everybody received these in their inbox. So okay. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, then let's go ahead and launch the poll. Okay, got a couple more seconds left. And vote now or hold your peace. Ending poll. Okay, thank you, everybody. And let's go ahead and move on to the agenda. And let's see, share my screen briefly. Everybody was able to see this. And everybody was sent this in their inbox. Are there any items from the floor? Okay, hearing nothing. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
And a second?
I second. Second.
Okay, and I'll go ahead and launch that poll. Okay, give guys a couple more seconds. And vote now. Okay, ending poll, share results. Thank you, everybody. We'll go ahead and proceed with the officers' reports. I don't have so super much, but I would encourage everybody to volunteer as much as possible for the Prop 50 efforts. We are in countdown time. Ballots have been out. Make sure you turn in your own ballot and make sure you encourage your friends to turn in theirs. And that's about it. Kai is currently phone banking, so he will not be in tonight. Let's see. Rita is out today, so Nancy is taking notes for her. Thank you, Nancy. Outreach, Muhammad, I do not see. Treasurer is Dawn Lowry, so let's go ahead and share the treasurer's report.
Right. Thank you, Julia. Our beginning balance at the end of August was $18,160.10. We brought in between dues and contributions and lawn sign contributions $585. Our expenses for the month of September were our annual liability insurance, $610. Sign supplies for the visibility brigade of $128.98. Our 100 lawn signs, which I believe are all distributed, of $615.70. Room deposit for next spring's fundraising event, and our monthly ACLU expenses for total expenses in the month of $1,831.47, leaving us with an ending balance of $16,913.63. And we have 135 paid members for 2025. So I thank all of our new members and returning members, and those of you who are out signing up people and getting them to join the club. We appreciate all your hard work.
Okay, Don, do you have anything else?
I will be talking about Prop 50 stuff later on, so I'll hold it for that.
Okay, so we will go ahead and move on to club business, starting off with the report from the steering committee. We discussed actually quite a few things. So one, we will be emailing a letter to Monica Brown regarding her vote on the sheriff's appointment to not have a any sort of process, just appointing whoever the sheriff recommended. the Democratic Central Committee had sent her a letter requesting that she not vote in that direction. There were a couple other votes that were 3-2 that were also a bit concerning. Mainly that the chair is Mitch Mashburn, a hardcore Republican, and she did in fact vote that way, which is disappointing considering how hard we worked to flip that board. So, that being said, so we will be sending that letter out, encouraging her to come and speak to us whenever she is available, regarding those decisions and what she plans to do in the future. We also had a request to talk to Fairfield and Benicia Public Works regarding the water breakage issues and how they are dealing with that, as quite frankly, water in this area and generally are a big deal, and those breakages have resulted in a lot of water loss. So just interesting stuff that we're going to talk about. And that is it for the steering committee. Next is the nomination committee. So Chair McCullough, I will go ahead and share your report. And you can take the floor. If you are trying to speak, you are on mute.
Sure. All right. Everyone came on September 29th as expected. And we discussed the objective and the overall process of the nominations committee. And you each have received this report. So there are several items that I want to highlight, and my committee will probably help me in some areas. The purpose of this nomination committee, of course, is to find the very best candidate for each office. Don just mentioned that we have 135 members. So our job really should be easy. And I want to remind you that taking back our country will begin with having a very strong local Democrat club. The second item on our committee list is eligibility of candidates. All of this content will be found in the bylaws, which I hope you read from time to time, knowing that if you have not been a member for at least 90 days, you're not eligible for being elected or nominated. So are there any questions about eligibility? Then we'll go on to the process. I have prepared, with the support of the committee, a nomination form, which everyone will receive in their box. And we're asking that you nominate yourself if you want to serve in one of the capacities which are outlined on the nomination forms, or nominate another person. We want nominations. But before you nominate someone, please talk with that person and get their approval before nominating them. The list of officers are there. And of course, the first item, the number one position, will be the president. I'm not going to go over all of the positions because they are in writing. But Marlene from our committee, are you here, Marlene? And
I am, Francis.
All right. Would you please highlight the importance of the officers and the limitations?
Absolutely. We had a good discussion, and it was obvious that we wanted to make sure in encouraging people to consider these offices and to nominate themselves, that the anticipation is that each person will bring their own set of skills and experiences to the role. Nobody is going to be comparing you to your predecessor. Nobody is going to be expecting that you will do the same as the predecessor. We want you to bring your set of skills and your approach to the offices that are listed. You have the list of duties, you know what will need to be done, but we expect each person to bring their own approach and not be held to any other standard other than they meet the requirements, they are doing the job, and actually enjoying it. So we really encourage people to nominate themselves, because we think we've got some pretty good people on the club right now. So we're very excited.
Thank you so much, Marlene. Our next item would be talking about the election, the process, the nomination process. The forms have been distributed. Everyone should have that in their mailbox effectively today. And we are collecting those forms by December 31. So you have many days, many weeks to consider nominating yourself or nominating another qualified Democrat. And we would like to have all of those forms by December 31. They will then be remitted to the election manager, and our president serves as our election manager. She may decide to appoint someone else to assist her, but our job is to collect nominations and give them to her by January 26. And the election will be actually held on January the 12th at our regular meeting. And that's it from the nominations committee, unless there are questions. Thank you.
That was very thorough. Thank you. Okay. So let's go ahead and move on to the next item on our agenda, which is Dawn Prop 50 outreach update.
Yeah. As we've been talking about last couple of meetings that, and you're probably hearing on the daily is, our effort, as Congressman Garamendi said, was to pass Prop 50 here in California. The big efforts are phoning and canvassing. If there is enough interest to set up an organized camp on the weekends, please let me know and I will do so. I will say candidly, I'm planning on setting up a canvas on the hope that people will show, because I spent enough Saturday mornings waiting for people to show. So please let me know ahead of time if you want me to set one up, and I'll do that. Otherwise, you can, the app permitting, do canvassing on your own time, in your own terms, using the app to pick out a neighborhood and get the houses near you to walk. I will candidly say that a number of our members are having problems from time to time because PDI, the vendor of the software, picked September 1st to roll out a new iteration of their software. And like any new version, is proven to be problematic. So I know that some of our people have had to uninstall and reinstall and uninstall and reinstall and to get it to work, or sign in 3 or 4 times. And all I can say is I apologize for that. The party is aware of it. They are working regularly to get it updated and working. And as some of our valiant volunteers will tell you, they're Tuesday it'll work and Wednesday it won't, and Thursday it works again. So it's kind of pick and choose. But we do ask you, if you have time to engage in canvassing, please do so. We will certainly provide you the literature. I know Jeannie has some literature. I have some literature. I have plenty of literature. I'd be happy to put in your hot little hands if you want to go canvass. There's also the phone banking going on 6 days a week through the state party that you can find that information on Mobilize. But basically, if you have time between now and the election, please do some phoning, do some precinct walking. I know many of you have done the postcarding, and thank you for that. Do everything you can to help spread the word about passing Prop 50. We need you to do it all and keep on doing it. So thank you for what you've done. And we've got about 4 weeks left to go, or 3 weeks left to go at this point. So thanks.
I will just say that if you are in any way hesitant on canvassing, I've had really great experiences. We're not going to Republican households trying to switch their minds. We are literally trying to get out our people and people that think the way that we do. Most of the conversations I've had are like, what are they actually trying to do? Yeah, we need to fight back, but like, is this the best way? So it truly has been super friendly. It's not as adversarial as you might think. It truly is actually lovely. Francis, go ahead.
Yes, I have a question. My friend, I don't know whether Dr. Hamilton is online or not tonight, but she has a car full of signs and call for help to put them up. And I've been trying to help her, but she says, I'm just not really useful in putting up signs. We, we can only put up the little ones yesterday. So I would like to have a stronger person to work with us to put up big signs. If anybody.
Have you guys talked to any of the union guys? Because they're
Yes,
usually
they were promised, but they haven't come through yet. And we're trying to get them out ASAP because here in the Green Valley community where I am, there are huge no signs. And I really want to help combat that. So if there's a volunteer here, I would love to get a name to help us. But if there's not, thank you.
okay.
I was trying to raise my hand. What about the young Dems? Can we get some of them to help?
I can text message them to see if anybody's available.
I would appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. And
To the
next,
chair,
yes.
I just wanted to share that normally during the campaign season, the cement masons normally go out and put up the signs. So it might be a good idea to reach out to them too, to help put signs up because there's definitely no on Prop 55 in my district for sure. Thank you.
Masons, thank you for that.
I know that the trade union usually does it too. And you have Mike Silva saying if he has a time that lines up, he can also help.
Thank you. We want them out of her car and up. Thanks.
I will get to talking in 1 second. I just can't talk and type at the same time, as I have already described. Okay, everybody. So we're gonna, oh, okay. Well, this is how we're gonna share. Okay, so we have this. Okay, so Dem Prom, our fundraiser. We have already put down the deposit on the Nelson Center. So let's hope this whole thing works out well. So right now we're looking at about $5,600. Yes, Margie, I'll call on you after I do the presentation. So it's about $5,600 with a revenue of approximately $15,000, totaling about $9,500. So if we did that, that would be amazing. So it would be at the Nelson Center with 1 hour of setup, a 3-hour event with 2 security guards with an hour of cleanup. Capacity is 200, has tables, chairs, and will be set up in the correct order as requested. So it's just up to us to do table decorations and get everything out. The caterer we're looking at is the same caterer we used for the anniversary party. So this would be the menu. It's a bit pared down from the previous one that we did for the anniversary party. It's a bit more, it's still the same, still 450 guests, but yes, they are also giving us a 5% discount because we are a returning customer. So for a total of $28.80, which is actually a fantastic price right now for food. Table settings. So because we have already purchased things in the past, we do not have to actually purchase more. So that would be tablecloths, table settings. We do need to buy napkins because the napkins that we got are paper. They are the nice ones that the silverware fits into. So getting more of those. And then $100 for decorations. Bar costs, looked up Costco pricing today. I am thinking 2 24-packs of beer, a case of the hard seltzer, probably like 5 or 6 bottles of wine, and then a regular soda and a diet soda and a sparkling water. Um, for water, what we did previously was we had the big pitchers that people could pour themselves. I think that might actually be better than getting the cases of water just for keeping us going. And then adding in cups. Other costs. A DJ, since this is supposed to be a prom. ABC day permit. Oh, actually, we got about that up to 100 because it is also $25 for Sassoon. And then also doing a program. I put $400. That's a bit of an estimate. I'm not super sure on how much that would cost. It cost us about $250 last time, but prices have gone up. Ticket pricing, we are looking at individual tickets being $65. A 2-ticket sponsor, so a couple sponsor, would be $200. A half table sponsor for 4 tickets would be $400, and then a full table sponsor would be $800. If the table sponsor purchases after the program goes to the printer, it will not be included in the program. That was a thing that happened actually quite a bit on the last one. So revenue estimates, this is kind of where I got my numbers. I figured, not member tickets, but just individual tickets. So 50 tickets, 20 of the pairs, 4 half table sponsors, 6 full table sponsors, 100 drinks, and then silent auction items. So that is where I came up with my numbers. They were not out of nothing. Okay, Margie, go ahead.
So this is great, Julia. I'm really impressed with all the work you've done in laying this out. And we did come up with this at a fundraiser meeting. I just went to a celebration of Solano Filipinos at in Fairfield the other night, and there were some members of the crab feed committee from the central committee there, and they were really having a hard time finding a place that they could have a crab feed during crab season. And I just wanted to bring this to the club. We've already set up a date in March and reserved it at the Nelson Center. And I'd just like the club to consider moving our prom. It wouldn't really change any of the things that Julia just mentioned, other than the date, but maybe it would be, nice of us to let, and also, we're part of Solano Democrats, so it might be a good idea to put ours off so they can have theirs if they want to. I mean, I'm just saying we should be open to letting them have that date if they are truly unable to find another location at that time.
Okay. Kathy, you have your hand up? You're muted. I know. I'm sorry.
It's me. So I'm kind of betwixt and between with that request, because if we let that day go, but they don't have, I mean, they're going to have to figure out the crab and all this stuff and I don't know everything that entails that, but they'd have to be pretty quick to give us a commitment here that they want that date. And would we get a date in April or later? I mean, we kind of got caught it I'm having a hard time talking, but because there weren't that many days available, we picked what we got. So if we're even considering moving, then we really, really need to look and see what is out there available. And how late in the year do we want to do that? Anyway.
Okay, Francis, go ahead.
Madam President, I hear what Margie is saying, but we met early. Our fundraising committee met early and did some due diligence to really try to find a venue. And that was not easy. And we put some things in place because we know this is an election this year and next year, and we really need to raise funds for our candidates and for our signs and whatever. So therefore, I just think we put out the work, the groundwork we needed to do to put our event in place. And I'm not comfortable turning over to someone else at this time as a fundraising committee member.
Anybody else have anything to say on that? Okay. I am also disinclined to change our date. It starts getting real hinky about, oh, Marlene, do you have more?
I'm sorry. Yeah, George actually wanted to speak, but he's
Yeah.
coughing. So he also agrees with Francis. I think the time and effort that's already been put in by the club, we're a little less inclined to give that up as well. I think we should stick with the date.
Okay. And not hearing anything else in favor of this, is there a second for Margie's request? Okay. So we'll move forward with the date that we have. We will help Central Committee in any way that we can, but we just can't do that particular one. So any other discussion regarding any questions regarding the event that laid out for you? Any questions regarding tickets or revenue or? Guys, you guys are gonna make me think that I'm doing a good job right now. Don't do that.
You're doing a great job.
The infrastructure is all there in place. And at the meeting, we discussed the cost and came up with $65. I'm just hoping that everyone is, well, I guess we proposed 75 at first, but I'm just hoping that our members will agree with this cost and help us fill up the room. 200 votes.
Okay. Well, do I have a motion to approve?
I, Francis McCullough, move.
And a second?
I second.
I'll second.
Okay, let's go ahead and
This
go
is
to the
Gian
vote.
McDougal. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, a couple more seconds. Vote now or forever hold your peace. And ending poll. Well, guys, very excited. We're gonna boogie on down. We are going to raise some good money and let's get some people elected. So, okay, with that, speaking of people to elect, Miss Wanda Williams is here to talk about her upcoming Board of Supervisors race. She is here asking for our early endorsement. Please note, per our bylaws, any vote prior to the close of filing has to pass with a 2/3 majority. Dawn, can you just do a real quick check and make sure no other Democrats are in the race?
Okay, give me a second.
Sorry, I just want to make sure that before we get this process started, that because if there is another Democrat in the race, we will have to interview both candidates. But in the meantime, Oh. Wanda, you will get a 2-minute opening, and then we will do about 7 minutes of questioning and a very, very quick close. Okay. I'm going to spotlight you. Let's go ahead and get started with your opening, and then Dawn can let us know.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, good evening, club members. I'm Wanda Williams, Solano County Supervisor representing District 3 and a member of the Northern Democratic Club and a member in good standing. I just want you to know I have been endorsed early by Congressman John Garamendi, Mike Thompson, State Treasurer Fiona Ma, State Controller Malia Cohen. I've also been endorsed by Supervisor Cassandra James, State Senator Christopher Cabaldon, Assembly Member Lori Wilson, council members from Benicia, Vacaville, Vallejo, Rio Vista, Fairfield, and Sassoon City, as well as labor, SEIU 1021, 2015, and some of the building trades, the carpenters, the boilermakers, the sheet metal workers, and the cement masons. Honestly, I have been a true staunch supporter of our democratic values and the Democratic Party. And in addition, I have been pressing and pushing for democratic values to be on the Board of Supervisors. And with that being said, making sure that we are incorporating democratic values and how we appoint individuals to county appointments. I have a very heavy election cycle coming up in 2026. There are some staunch right-wingers that would like to unseat me and not see me move forward in my reelection. And so I'm coming before you today to ask for your early endorsement to show strong support that you endorse my candidacy for reelection to the Board of Supervisors in 2026. And so that's why I'm coming before you today. And I would really appreciate it and hope that I can earn your early endorsement. Thank you.
Excellent timing. So let's go ahead and start with questions. And I will start with the question since I don't have one in the chat yet and say, what do you consider your greatest accomplishment in your first term?
Well, have pressed for a lot of policy changes on the Board of Supervisors. We have approved our good neighbor policy, which requires that we strongly encourage all developers to have opportunities to meet with the community to make sure that our community members have an opportunity to express themselves. I have pressed hard and stood against just appointing people without putting a process in place that is fair and transparent. So transparency, supporting our vendors and growers, our ag community, and defending open space. I've been a strong voice on that board, and I will continue to be a strong voice. So every day I realize there's something new to be done, and so I'm continuing to do it. I have appointed many Democrats to different seats on commissions, and I'm just continuing to make sure that we have a strong Democratic presence in the county.
Have you heard at this point if anybody else is running for the seat?
Well, I've heard of 2 individuals that are thinking of running against me, and that is Catherine Moy, who is the mayor of the city of Fairfield, and one of the sheriffs in the sheriff's department. I don't recall his name, to be honest, but he has also put his hat in the race, or I should say he's asking for endorsements and making phone calls.
Okay, so 2 likely not Democrats Well, I mean, one
No, they're
definitely
not.
not, the other likely not. Okay, what is the biggest challenge that the county can improve for working families throughout Solano County?
Well, we can continue to make sure that our programs are being truly pushed throughout the county. I think one of the things that most people don't know is what we do provide and what we offer. So that's number one. And we must continue to stand the line to protect our families the best way as possible, utilizing the funds we have to supplement the cuts that we are anticipating that's going to occur with the Trump administration as they cut Medicaid, which affects Medi-Cal, which affects all our different programs that we offer. And just making sure that as in my role as county supervisor, one of the things I want to make sure I'm doing is having town halls and having opportunities for the community to meet with me so I can share with them what's happening in our area. But for the county itself, it's truly for us to make sure that we're doing everything possible to partner with our cities and finding ways in which we can work collectively together to uplift and improve the quality of life of all those living in Solano County. I might be supervisor for District 3, but I know when I make a vote or when I vote on issues, I'm have to think about the county as a whole. And one of the things we should really be doing is making sure that we're not shutting down opportunities for members to be on committees, but actually creating opportunities for them so that their voices can be heard on the Board of Supervisors. And so we just need more to continue to work on having more transparency.
Okay, and then I know we did want to talk about California Forever. People are curious as to your position.
Well, and this is what I tell everyone. As a supervisor, it is my responsibility. I sit as a quasi judicial role, so which means I'm like a judge, right? So right now, where I stand is making sure I hear from my constituency on their concerns and issues, that I ask the tough questions with California Forever, and just making sure that they're not doing or putting things in place that would hurt our community. For me, it's, they're not going away and they're not leaving. So what are the best benefits that we can get in this process, with them? So that's where things are. I can say that I do support shipbuilding, of course, in Vallejo. That's important, but there's also opportunities in Collinsville if that works. And of course, we want to stay in alignment with, stand within what the general plan is already have identified, but also making sure that we're looking at how we protect our environment in those spaces. So for me is I have to ask the tough questions and I have to be able to listen and convey the concerns of my community in those spaces when we have to interact with California Forever.
Okay. So why aren't Solano County residents voting on the California Forever?
Okay, well, they pulled their initiative because there wasn't great support at the time for just building a city without any, with nothing to show us how the city's going to be built, where they're going to get the water, all those things. In my opinion, I still think there's an opportunity for it to still come before the board. But right now, California Forever has decided to work with the city of Suisun City and try to do annexation. However, that process has to go to LAFCO. And actually on September 30th, I'll be hosting a town hall at the Kroc Center, and we'll have LAFCO, the executive director, share what does that mean when this process of going before LAFCO. I do sit on LAFCO as an alternate, but for you still can have your voice can still be heard, still coming to the Board of Supervisors meetings, sending letters, writing in letters, calling in if you can't physically come when those discussions do come, going to LAFCO meetings and expressing your concerns at those meetings as well. So I don't want anyone to think that they don't still have a voice. You do. But if annexation happens through the city of Sassoon, then there wouldn't be a vote if that did occur.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and give us a 1-minute closing?
Oh, okay, yes. Well, first and foremost, I am honored and privileged to stand or Zoom before you today to ask for your support. Your support means a lot to me. I'm an active member. I've always paid my dues, a good member in standing. I've helped on many different fundraisers, but most importantly, I need your support to show a strong front that I have the support of the Northern Solano Democratic Club, and we're letting them know, those that are thinking of running against me and trying to unseat me and remove me from that role, know that you're standing with me and there's going to be a fight on their hands before them. I plan to win, but I know it takes a village, and I'm asking my village to show up for me and be there for me at this time. And so that's why I'm asking for your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Bridget will take comment in just one moment.
Oh, I just wanted to introduce a motion to early endorse.
Okay. Do I have
Second.
a Okay.
I'll second.
Okay.
Second, this is Jan.
Okay. Do we have any discussion? Okay. Dawn?
Just as a reminder, members who have less than 90 days in the club do not vote on endorsements. So if you are a probationary member, you do not have a vote on endorsements.
Jack, go ahead.
I just want to say I'm a strong supporter of Supervisor Williams. I'm someone who is a school board member. She is a strong ally of public education, and we need her continued voice on the Board of Supervisors. So I will be absolutely voting yes.
Okay. Let's go ahead and go to the poll then, seeing no other comments. Okay. Launch. As Dawn said, if you've been a club member for less than 90 days, just go ahead and not vote. We will be checking after the fact to make sure that everybody who voted is a member in good standing. Okay. Has everybody voted? I am going to say yes, and we are going to end the poll. And I will share the results in a second, but I just need to make sure that everybody's a member before I can say that. Other than that, that is, let's see, the last item on our agenda. So now we will move, we have no items from the floor, so we will move to announcements, and we will go with Ms. Frances McCullough, who has an announcement.
Thank you, Madam President. And I thank the club for including the announcement the last few months about the office luncheon. We're celebrating the 25th Civil Jubilee for the Solano County Library Foundation's office luncheon. That's going to be on November the 2nd from 1 to 4 at the Sunrise Banquet Hall in Vacaville. The individual tickets are $140. That's a little expensive, but inflation and the cost of that event in order to raise money for literacy, it is expensive. And remember, when you buy your ticket, you are in support of literacy. So please consider purchasing your tickets. If you want to buy an individual ticket and want to be seated with others in the club, just let me know, and I will work with the Solano County Library Foundation to ensure that has happened. I'm no longer a member of the board, but I'm an honorary board member. So I really would appreciate your support of this wonderful event. And Madam President, I will make sure if you can send this flyer with this whole ensemble of authors and presentation so that everyone receives that. And know that the deadline for purchasing tickets is the 27th of October. Thank you for the time, and I hope you will consider.
Wanda, go ahead.
Well, thank you. I alluded to it in my interview, but I wanted to share on October 30th at the Kroc Center located in Suisun City. I will be hosting a community meeting and resource fair. So you have an opportunity to see all the different programs that's offered through the county. And we'll have a special guest, the executive director of our California LAFCO will be present, and he'll be going over LAFCO 101. So it's just really for you to understand how the LAFCO process work, and you have an opportunity to ask some questions as well. So that will start at 5:30. The resource fair starts at 5:30. And the discussion starts around 6:15. So I just wanted to make sure that you knew that was happening, and I'll send Julia the flyer so it can go out to you as well. So thank you very much.
Is there anybody else?
We're finished.
I am seeing nobody. Jeannie?
This is just a little save the date, a little announcement that member Margie Stern has graciously offered to open up her home for the holiday event for the club in December. It will be on December 14th from 2 to 5 in her home, an open house. And we'll have lots of details to follow, but I'm just hoping that you will all save the date. And a special thank you to Margie Stern for being so generous to open up her home for us for the holidays.
Okay, thank you, everybody. I just want to let everybody know that we have, in fact, reached results. Wanda, you are officially endorsed by the Northern Solano Democratic Club. Thank you very much. And we will be talking about your race very, very shortly. So... Okay. With that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All say aye.
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 Okay,
Aye.
thank you, everybody. I know
Aye.
this was a long one, but it was really important, and I'm really happy everybody was able to make it.
Good night.
Good night.
Madam President, may I say thank you? Thank you, everyone that voted for me. I appreciate your support immensely. God bless you all.
And thank you.
Thank you. We don't have anybody to endorse if they don't run. So we do thank you for that. Okay. Good night, everybody.